In 2012, when I was 9 years old, Chance School, my elementary school, held a mock election. They told us to drop our ballots with our candidate of choice into a shoebox decorated with red, white, and blue. Our teachers would then count the class's votes and see who we would have voted into office based on our 4th and 5th grade class. Our class was mixed with the grade above my grade, and the older kids seemed to know everything about who they wanted to choose and why. All I knew was that one guy liked red and one guy liked blue, and that's when I realized I did not know much about either of these two men, and my indecisiveness kicked in. But blue was, and still is, my favorite color. I spent the rest of the day imagining what it would be like to run a country. While being a princess may have been for me a few hours earlier, being a president sounded way cooler. Ever since then, I have thought about a few bills that I would 100% sign into law. Banning one-way streets would be first on my list. I have driven down far too many in my short 10 months of driving. It usually happens while going downtown for ACT tutoring, picking up lunch, and driving around Nulu. To get myself from one place to another, other than a friend's house or school in the morning, I am absolutely dependent on my GPS. As a result, I tend to become so focused on what's in front of me that I forget to follow the blue line on my map and miss my turn. This has resulted in several unwillingly trips taken across the bridge just to get home. Waiting for me at home have always been a few animals. We have always had fish, hamsters, frogs, and rats for as long as I can remember. Right now, we only have one dog. Her name is Cookie, but I love her more than anything. I have really loved animals my entire life. I think my parents realized how much I loved animals when I was very, very little and witnessed Peter Rabbit being hit by his father on the TV. It upset me so much that I cried. I usually cry during most movies that I watch, except for when I'm with friends, and I cry especially hard watching a movie involving animals. Coincidentally, bunnies have become my favorite animal over the past year. I have begun to think that maybe my past love for them has influenced my current love for them. I have bunnies in my room, hanging from my mirror, in my car, on my keys, and I have even dedicated an art project to them last year by making a bunny sticker. So, because of this love for all animals, especially bunnies, the same rules that apply to humans for driving injuries would apply to animals in my perfect world. As I mentioned before, I love the color blue, and I have ever since I was young. My room is that 7th grade teal color, but I love it too much to paint over it. My nail color of choice is always blue, and I love anything blue raspberry flavored. Thus, I would make sure to legislate that all citizens have the right to free blue M&Ms. Not just any blue M&Ms, but the mini ones. I've been practicing the skill of blindly guessing whether I'm eating a blue M&M ever since I knew they were superior. M&Ms alone are pretty awesome, but I would love to bring the joy that I feel while opening a mostly blue bag of M&Ms to others. I understand that the flavor isn't any different from the rest of the colors, but I don't think you could change my mind if you tried. While I do not believe that your zodiac sign completely controls who you are, I do think it contributes in some way to what you find valuable and how you look at the world. Being born in early September means that I'm a Virgo. Virgos are very independent, which I believe I am. When offered help, I often find myself explaining that I can do it on my own, sometimes when I know I can't. We also tend to be creative and perfectionists. I see these traits a lot in myself, and being a perfectionist would both benefit and disadvantage me as a president. I believe in my zodiac sign's perfectionist tendencies because it bothers me when myself or others are not on time. This leads me to my 4th bill. Though I haven't completely worked out the logistics, being late would be illegal unless you had an excellent reason. I know this may sound extreme, but for me, from the moment I wake up to the second that my head hits the pillow, my day is planned out to the hour. I know exactly how long it takes me to get where I need to go, and I give myself extra time in case anything goes wrong. I have at least 5 reminders on my phone daily so that I don't accidentally forget about something. My alarms are always set and always set early to ensure that I get enough sleep. I also take an extra step to make sure that I fall asleep at the right time by taking my melatonin. My involvement with melatonin has caused me to miss many important things because I've forgotten about them. One time in particular, I was plugging my phone in to go to sleep after taking my nightly melatonin when I got a call from a classmate asking me if I was ready for our AP Bio test tomorrow. At that moment, my heart dropped as I realized there was no way I could study because I was already feeling sleepy. The combination of my bad memory and being sleepy is one of my most significant weaknesses. This is why planning and being organized is crucial to me. My memory began to decline my sophomore year of high school, for whatever reason. I didn't realize how important it was until I had trouble remembering class material, being anxious that I would forget about plans I had made, and began losing my things at school and around the house. As a result, I have a planner. When I forget it at home or misplace it, I feel lost until I found it. Though you will never see me giving another big speech other than this one, as a president would do, that doesn't mean that I don't have ideas that I believe in and want to pursue. It just means that I think they are better off staying in my head. And since my desire to be president has lessened since I grew older, these laws won't be changing anytime soon. And since I won't be leading others, I will be focused on leading myself. And I have realized that you must become your own leader to figure out what you want and then carry out those wants and make them happen. If I have learned anything academic-wise about going to collegiate, I think it is essential to know that to stay on track and do well, you must get help when you need it, even if you don't want it. So right now, I will stick to being my own leader, and I encourage those of you who are listening to do the same. Being your own leader allows you to decide your morals, what you believe in, and your values. It also helps you better understand who you really are and what you really want. Thank you.
When I was little, I used to want to be a spy. I remember watching all the Spy Kids movies when I was growing up. I even remember ordering a Happy Meal at McDonald's, and my toy were these spy glasses that you put on and you could see behind you. As any person would do with their spy glasses, I wore them everywhere. As you could probably imagine, I was a mischievous, hyper little girl. One day, I was playing hide and go seek with my neighbor. This was probably our eighth round, and I hadn't lost yet, all due to my spy glasses. I could see all around me, and I felt like a real spy. As I went running to base to be safe, my spy glasses fell on the floor, and I accidentally stepped on them, completely destroying them. To this day, I'm still sad about breaking those spy glasses. My spy glasses were crushed, as well as my dream to become a spy. Yep, I was a very creative and dramatic kid, and after the spy obsession, I decided I wanted to be a hot dog vendor. I am thrilled I got over that phase because I don't even like hot dogs like that. This past summer, I rewatched the Spy Kids movies and it reignited my love for the films, specifically Spy Kids 4D. This film was created 8 years after the original three Spy Kids movies and is more of a modern day spin with cheesy, funny time puns all throughout the movie. Towards the end of the movie, I realized how relatable it was to me. Spoiler alert, at the end of the film, when the spies defeat the villain TikTok, he says, "No one ever notices time until it's gone." And when he said that, I was like, wow, true. I had never thought of what that meant, and it hit me that suddenly I'm a senior. It was going to be my last year of high school. I couldn't believe that time had passed so quickly. I remember being a freshman and thinking that I was going to be in high school forever. TikTok explains that his interest in speeding up time is because he believes that people fill their days with meaningless pursuits instead of treasuring precious moments. We are so busy doing things that we don't have time to slow down and cherish those moments. When you look back at your high school experience, did you genuinely treasure those special moments? Like your first prom, first point, first detention, first homecoming, first tug of war, first t shirt day, first kindergarten derby, and so many others. Collegiate has so many unique traditions so that when you do sit back and reflect on those moments, you can truly say it was not all a meaningless pursuit. When I look back at my high school career, I can truly say that I made the most of it. For example, my sophomore year, I tried indoor crew for the first time. I wouldn't say I liked crew. Julia, Kate, and I decided to join winter indoor crew, and we were genuinely excited for it to start. We thought it would be an easy, chill time to get our row on and listen to some good tunes. Boy, were we wrong. Rowing is really, really hard. I was not prepared for the speed we were rowing at, and I was often the last to finish. Additionally, for some reason, the crew coaches did not like me. I hated crew so much I stopped going to the last month, and winter crew is only 2 months. Anyway, I wouldn't change that experience because I know now that I'm not good at crew, and that's okay. I'm good at other things, like mock trial. If you know me, you probably know that I love mock trial. I say that all the time, but I love mock trial. I started mock trial my freshman year because my sister had done it when she went to collegiate, and she always said it was so fun. So I wanted to do it. My freshman year was so fun and we were really good. The upperclassmen knew exactly what they were doing. They were so kind to me and helped me understand what to do. I had so much fun at the competition that I did it again my sophomore year and every year since. I encourage everyone to sign up for mock trial because it's so fun. Also, I encourage you to partake in activities outside of school. As some of you may know, this summer I accepted my first job at Soupy's. Soupy's is a small local business near my house and they serve sandwiches and soups. Even though I got fired from Soupy's after 3 months, I learned a lot of important lessons. The first is ask your pay before accepting a job. This sounds obvious, right? Well, you would be wrong. I failed to ask how much I would be making, and when I started working, it was too late to ask. I was expecting to make like $10 an hour, but to my dismay, I was only getting paid $7.25. Additionally, Soupy's taught me the importance of tipping your waiters. Tips were split between the 4 workers who worked that day. Some days we would look into the tip jar and there would be one sad, crumpled dollar for a whole 6 hours worth of work. We would split this up between the workers and we would make 25 cents in tips sometimes. Even though the end of my sandwich making career didn't end so well, I wouldn't have changed working as Soupy's for those short 3 months. I learned that I'm great with customers, I work well with others, and that if I ever needed to be a chef, I could be one. In closing, I just want to say that time flies when you're having fun. But it literally does. I encourage you all to take a break from the fast-paced lifestyle that we all have going on and honor the time that you have right now, because before you know it, it could be gone.